Hey, Curtis.
Hey, Curtis.
All right, so it looks like we're pretty much in the middle, right?
Yeah.
Head out to the poll on your left side and tell us how proficient you are with Miro.
Still looking for our first ninja.
Exactly. That is besides you and Rachel.
Ninjas still have a lot to learn. It's okay.
It's a never-ending journey.
All right, I have killed the music and feel free to continue to answer the poll, but I would like to take a few moments to welcome everyone. My name is Ana Maria, if we haven't met before, and I am leading the awesome community project here at Butter. I would like you to maybe search the React icon on the left side of your screen and give me a thumbs up if you have used Butter before, and give me a thumbs down if you haven't. And this is very, very, very first time in Butter. All right. Okay, some ups, some downs. So we do have a couple of participants that are here for the first time. So welcome to Butter. Well, Butter is the all-in-one tool to deliver collaborative virtual workshops. And I'm going to pop a couple of links for you in the chat. Also, a couple of the LinkedIn links that you can connect with John and Rachel in case you don't know them yet. And pin it right there for you. And this session is being recorded before we move any further. So please be advised, if you would not like your face to appear on camera, feel free to turn it off. It will be shared on YouTube and with the Butter community. And personally, I have been waiting for the session forever, ever since I met Rachel, I think 6 months ago, and I saw the awesome Miro boards that she is designing. Now, Rachel, she's running her own consulting business where she's helping teams create workshops. She coaches others on experiential interaction for everything from learning and development to project kickoffs and brand strategy sessions. So she is indeed a bit of a ninja. And she is joined today by John, who I also met maybe like a month and a half ago, John, I think, in one of our events. Mm-hmm. And he supports leaders, teams, and consultants by creating and facilitating interactive and collaborative experiences that inspire and excite audiences while delivering the outcomes they need. So they're both extremely professional facilitators and workshoppers, and I am so thankful that you guys have designed this experience for us, this improv session. I'm looking forward to it. The floor is yours, and you can take it away.
All right. We're going to go ahead and end this. Has everyone voted on the poll? Looks like we've got almost everyone voted on there. Looks like a lot of new people, some just starting out, and that's okay. You don't have to have experience in Miro for this. This is supposed to be, I'm going to go ahead and end this here. All right. And it looks like most of us are just starting out, and that's okay, because as you're going to see, this is all about having fun, right? This is, you're going to throw things at me on the boards. You're going to choose some themes. It's all about having fun. And I'm going to go ahead and close out this poll, and I'm going to open up our Miro board. And so this is an integration in Butter. So everyone, this should pop up in your Butter window, and you should actually be able to interact with it within Butter.
That's it. It's great to see everyone floating in here.
All right, fantastic. Now, what's going to happen here is at certain points, I might bring you to me on the board, but John's going to start out with kind of a high-level overview here. So go ahead, John.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm zoomed way out on the Miro board right now, which I've done by rolling my mouse wheel down, which kind of zooms out. You can also hit the minus keys on your keyboard or the plus key to zoom in and out. But a general overview for what we have in store for you today is the very top lane that we've got. It's in what we call in Miro a frame, is the framework for our workshop. There's going to be a few activities that everyone's going to participate in up there, get you a little bit familiarized with Miro and how it works, and get us the information that Rachel's going to need to start building this board from scratch. Underneath that, there's a kind of a second interactive area. One's going to be where I record the results from the voting. There's another area that you're going to be able to record your aha moments. So if you experience something or see something that you're learning for the first time, we have a whole bunch of sticky notes set up so that you can capture your thoughts and your learnings in there, and we can later share those out via the group and via social media. There's also a bit of a staging area for you, the users, because we want you to get involved in this. So there's going to be some customized elements that you can choose that Rachel will include in her designs. And there's also going to be a little bit of a playground where you can just go and play to your heart's content while the main board design is kind of going on. And then finally, we have a resources board for you that has a whole bunch of links for Miro resources, external paid resources, free resources, the graphics packs, the designs that Rachel has done for this, which in a second you're going to see them, or you can probably see them right now, the monsters and robots. They're absolutely amazing. And every single one of them is completely custom designed by Rachel because she's a phenom at this. She's a design ninja. She has 2 ninja belts. Can you believe it? Thank you, everybody.
All right, John, should I bring it? I'm going to bring everyone to me. Oops, I'm having a little trouble here. Here we go. I'm going to bring everyone to me on the board. So give me 1 second. Everyone's going to come to me here on our purpose. So you should be seeing today's purpose, and John will go through that now.
Yes. So we're going to have you write the script for this entertainment that we're going to go through today so that Rachel can build this board. You'll define all the pieces that we're going to use. We'd like for you to learn a bit more about Miro, so get the general moving around under your belt, and then learn about a couple of cool features that can get you up and running with designing your own boards and your own experiences and making them look great and feel great and get the outcomes that you need. And then explore a few outside tools, exterior to Miro, that you can use to help design beautiful boards. And I think the most important thing we want to do today is have a bad time. No, that wasn't it. Oh, it's have a great time. We're going to have some fun.
Happy time.
Fun. That's it, right?
Fantastic.
Yeah. So with that, I think we should kind of transition right into things and get going. And let's define the first bit that we're going to do. So the first thing we want to vote on today is the theme for Rachel's design. And the theme today is a choice that we get to pick here is between robots and monsters. And they're both so cute. I don't know if you like the color, if you like the way they look. We have hearts in the box here. It says drag 1 heart to the side of your favorite theme. Just kind of drag it just beside the robot or the monster. Yeah, click and hold and drag those over. I see some folks are drawing some lines here.
That's okay. Lines are okay too, but they don't count as a vote.
That's right. So if you're having...
Oh, I was going to say, I see some big hearts. That's great. They only count as 1 vote, but you can make them bigger. That's awesome too. Go ahead, John.
I was just going to say, if anyone is running into trouble, can't figure out how to select a heart, you can type into the Butter chat and we can help you out. In general, though, you'll see in your Miro interface in our shared screen here, on the left-hand side, there's a menu. And at the very top of that menu is a pointer, a mouse pointer. You'll just want to make sure that that pointer is blue. If it happens to be black, then you won't be able to select any objects on the Miro board. So you want to make sure it's blue, and then you can go and try and grab a heart and select.
Fantastic. Looks like we've got everyone still voting here. I don't know if you wanted to. It looks like we've got almost everyone voted.
Yeah, I think we have.
Look, I think there's a clear winner here.
There is an absolute clear winner. It is robots. So I'm just going to update our theme board very quickly and get a robot in here. There he is.
All right. So you'll see down kind of to the, what is that? To the right and down is where our mood board is. And we'll start to put some of our choices there.
That's right.
John will put the choices there. You can help out later, but let John put the choices in
Yeah,
now.
we'll get that done. That's all good.
All right. So let's go to choose your icebreaker next. Go ahead, John.
So when we're running our online facilitations and workshops, an icebreaker, which is an initial activity that we do, can serve a few purposes. First, it can get everyone kind of laughing, smiling, and having a good time. It's meant to be light. It's meant to be fun and free. But the other purpose that we use icebreakers for in our Miro workshops is that it gives our attendees, and this could be anywhere from Miro ninjas to babies learning to crawl, it gives them the chance to learn the skills that they're going to need in the workshops that we're running. And so that's what we kind of keep in mind as we're selecting the right icebreaker for the right thing. In this case, you have 3 options for icebreakers. And in this vote, Rachel's going to tell you what each of the icebreakers are.
Sure.
But in this vote, you're going to grab the ice cubes that we've got and drag them over into the rocks glass that best supports the icebreaker that you would want to see. So why don't you tell us about these icebreakers,
Sure.
Rachel?
So we have our little this or that activity, and I've purposely not shown you what these look like because it's kind of a surprise, but this or that is kind of a slider activity where you're having your participants choose between, let's say, Apple or Android, or Butter or Zoom. We know Butter in there. And so that's that kind of activity. Works with different size groups, even though we're pretending we have 3 participants today for our build. Caption This is an activity where you can switch in and out photos and have your group kind of caption that and react to that particular photo to kind of get to know each other, see what other people are saying about the photo. And then Gift Story. This is for a little bit more technical savvy. You can give them a gift data bank or a little database of gifts to choose from, or have people go out to Giphy and create a story with gifts and then have them walk through this. That works really well with smaller groups. All right, let's give people a chance here. It looks like we still got a bunch of people that need to vote. And feel free to ask questions as we're going through. If anyone has any questions about any of these icebreakers, feel free to ask them. You can pop them in the chat, or you could just ask them. We've got a smaller group here of 27. I think the first time we did this, we had 250. This is a nice size group, 27.
Okay. Looks like this or that is out to an early lead.
Yeah. I think that's what was chosen last time too, but the good thing about this or that is you can customize it in so many different ways. It's not going to be the same.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And some of you folks who have already voted might see that right below this vote is our aha moment board. And there's a bunch of orange stickies down there, and go in there and grab any one sticky and just type in it if you're having any aha moments for Butter or for Miro or for the facilitation or anything like that. Anything you're learning, we want to know how we're impacting you in your lives. And
so it looks like this or that is the clear winner here.
Yes.
Yeah. So if you will, John, set me a lovely timer. You can turn on the music if you'd like. Okay. And we're gonna. And how much time do I have to start building this first piece?
We'll set a timer for 10 minutes, Rachel.
All right. And so everyone, if you want to actually see as I'm building here, you can come down to this Miro board Improv. Does everyone see that over here? Do you need me to bring you to me? I'm going to go ahead and bring everyone to me. All right, so you can see down here. So we will ask that you play in the playground underneath and not on the board that I'm building on. So if you want to try anything out that I'm showing. All right.
Stick in the playground, please.
Fantastic.
Sorry, Rachel, that muted you automatically.
I am unmuted myself. Okay. So one of the things I like to have here first is a sidebar that kind of has information about the session. So we'll get rid of this. And I've got some robot colors already here. So we've got that session there. And I like to put the name of the session there, who the facilitators are. So we can put, let's go ahead and say this session is, we want to make sure we have the right font, we're using PT Sans today, and we're going to up the font here a little. We're going to make this white. I'm going to turn off everyone's arrows here for a second while I'm designing. So let's say this is building a better robot companion, right?
Better than the Roomba?
Yeah, maybe. You always got to get better companion, right? That's our title here, building a better robot companion.
Love it.
Then, so, you put your little workshop title there. I like to then have a date usually. So what did I say, December 14th, but we're future thinking. So we're going to do 2099.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's very robot.
As you're designing, you might want to lock elements. So I'm going to lock this thing here, this square here. I might use very technical terms like thing and stuff. You might notice that as we go along here.
That thing over there.
Yeah, that thing over there and the stuff over there. And I'm going to actually bring in some elements I already have created over here. So you're going to see them pop up. But what I need to do now is resize these. And so we're going to resize these to fit our board and fit right there, right?
I'm just going to, as you're doing this, Rachel, Toby had a couple of questions. He says,
sure, go ahead.
It must get crazy with all the names buzzing about, especially in a few months back, we ran a distributed Miro's conference session and had 200 people on the board.
Yes,
so
we
it gets
did.
a little nuts. You'll see in the top right of the Miro interface, there are all of the user icons. There's a little party favor blowing out thing that says reactions, and then there's a little pointer symbol that if you hover over it, it will say hide collaborators cursors. If you click that, Toby, and everybody else as well, you'll turn off your collaborator cursors and you can turn them back on at any time. And his second question is, can you lock people out of a frame? You can lock everybody out of a frame, absolutely. Miro is great for locking down content that you don't want people to touch, and then you can have editable content that you do want them to touch. So as a facilitator, you have to figure out ahead of time what's going to be dynamic and editable and what's going to be static and locked in the background.
So I'm going to show you a quick little trick here that I love. I brought in these rules of engagement over here. You can see they've got a little bit of space between them. If you highlight all of them and just bring it up, you can actually change that all at the same increment. And we can go ahead and then make this the color we want and bring it over to our rules of engagement. So there you go. And then for your facilitators, maybe John can help me out here and bring a little LinkedIn profile a picture over there. All I usually do is copy and paste it into there under your facilitators.
Sure.
And then put a name and a role. So I'm going to get started on the icebreaker while he's doing that. And so we decided we were going to do this or that. And I'm going to show you real quick how to nest frames. So we've got a custom frame here. You'll see it got super big, but we're going to make it smaller. And sometimes we'll do a little welcome board like you saw over there. And the frame is the little, it looks like a square, but it's overlapping like this towards on your toolbar to the left. And so sometimes we'll do a little welcome frame here. Welcome, hey, this is some tips about how to use Miro. And then we'll go ahead and do our icebreaker frame. So this is our warm-up. And what's great about using these frames is you can actually use the little 3 dots and export each frame as an image. I'm gonna lower this music here a little. There we go. So I'm not like shouting at you. I know it's very exciting, but I don't think I want to shout at you the whole time. And so I'm gonna pull over here some instructions for this or that, so I don't have to actually type them out while we were talking, because that's like you can spell things unless someone's watching you. So we're gonna bring that over here. And so you're going to see that's not the right color, right? So let's make it our monster color. And right, so these are the instructions for this or that. So that's kind of big text, right? So if you need to reduce the size of the text here, you can just grab out the side and actually reduce it, or you can reduce it with the number. And We like to have a little time indicator for things like this. Whoa, that is not the right thing that I wanted to copy. See, there we go. So we have a little time indicator over for this, and usually, you know, that's going to take about, let's say, 5 minutes. You don't want too much time for a warm up. And so let's make sure we're getting the right color here. So you'll see there's an opacity here. I want to make this full opacity. And I'm going to go ahead and actually use my darker color and make that white. So you'll see this is a little big too. So we can select this group and make it a little smaller. So now let's get to the actual icebreaker. So what we're going to do is you usually will have, I'm going to grab one of these as an example, and then we'll pick our own. So, whoa, that's big. All right, so we've got a little slider. Okay, hey, what are they doing here? Do they want coffee? Do they prefer coffee or tea? Let's make this the right text there so we can copy it. We've got some questions I think in the chat there, John, if you want to field some of those.
Yeah, I do. Dave is asking if he finds Miro to be a bit tedious in the setup phase, and he says Miro templates can be good, but he's not a huge fan of the setup, the sizing of text, the positioning, and all that stuff. So do we have any tips to make the setup for events and facilitations even faster?
Can you rephrase that in a different way?
Yeah, Miro templates are great. How can we help people to set up their Miro boards even faster without having to take all the time-consuming steps?
So there, I'm gonna move whoever did that there down to the, there you go.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of different things you could actually create your own startup kits that kind of have preset things for you, or there are actually people out there, I think, Daniel from Facilitator School has created a kind of startup kit for events and things like that. I'm going to go ahead and grab the instructions for this because we're running out of time. Mm-hmm. So what you would do with this is you would, let's say we have 3 people. So we're going to make 3 colored dots here. Oops. Right. So we're going to let's make that one like a blue. And we're going to make like a yellow, right? So we have 3 participants here. Let's make like a yellow. And then another one here is going to be like I don't know, a gray, right? And so you can put your participants' names next to here. So, I don't know. John, throw me some robot names.
Bleep, bleep.
Bleep, bleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, he might be having some... a bad day.
Yeah.
All right.
The next one, we got Anna Maria has one. Rusty. Love
Rusty.
it.
All right.
And then I think you have to go with the tried and tested 101111.
Yes. I might 101011. There we go. Yeah. All right. Fantastic. Right. So we know that these are our 3 dots. So we're going to go ahead and copy these. So it's just a Command C or Command V if you're on a Mac. And we're actually just going to rotate these and put them in the center here. And then people can drag them to either side here. So I'm going to go ahead and ungroup this and copy it down here. And then you see these things on the sides. We're just going to do one more here. And you can go to your icon finder. And what else might we want people to say this or that on? Anyone have any ideas?
Chocolate or chips?
All right, let's see if we can get some chocolate icons going on here using the icon finder. All right, we've got a chocolate icon that we just dragged from the icon. See if we can find some chips. All right, we actually have an icon for chips here. So we've got chocolate or chips. All right, fantastic. Now, you can continue to copy these down. I recommend about 4 or 5 of these in your this or that to stay within your 5 minutes. And I do realize that my time is up. So we can go ahead and we'll just make some blank ones here so I can fill it out afterwards. And John, do you want to take us through I noticed that you didn't even have them throw anything at me. We'll have to do that at the next one.
We were answering so many questions. Yeah, we'll have to do that.
So I'm going to go ahead and put some of our robots over here. So you can see how we've got some of our themes. You can see how we're kind of integrating the theme into what we're doing, right? So, you know, let's do Apple or Android here. And you'll see that you can just kind of grab your guys over here, and I'm gonna throw something at myself. I'm gonna take one of the little thought bubbles, right? Let's say you're going leaning in real hard into your theme, and you want this guy to be thinking something. There you go. All right. Let's move on to the next voting.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go ahead and close that timer.
Excellent. Thank you. And can you bring us to the next vote, Rachel?
I can bring us to the next vote. Bring everyone to me.
So as part of any good workshop, we got to have something to do. So let's have a main activity, and that's what we're going to vote on here. So we have 3 different fire pits set up for everybody, and we have flames that you can use to vote to put in. So the 3 activities are Rosebuds and Thorns, the best and worst ideas brainstorm, and then the defining success, goals, delays, plus risks. We do have a bit of a write-up on each. And if Rachel would like to tell us any more about those, that would be absolutely fun.
So Rosebud Thorn, typically you see this sometimes as a retrospective, but I like to use it to kind of get everyone on the same page. If they're bringing their own unique knowledge, one of the first rules is you want to honor everyone's expertise and knowledge that is coming to that workshop. And this is a great way to do that for them to really identify positives, negatives, and some opportunities. And then we've got best and worst. It is a good future perspective too. I think we've got a comment there. Best and worst ideas brainstorm. So this is one I love to start with because it gets kind of put to, let's go ahead and lock that. All right. It's got everyone kind of in a place where they're not trying to have the right idea. They're really more trying to just get creative, and it doesn't matter if their idea is right or not, right? So this is a great place to start. And then defining success. This is kind of a play on a safe harbor activity, if you've ever heard of that, with also used for retrospective and future perspective can be as well. Let's see if we can get more people voting here. It looks like we only have a couple votes there. Does anyone have any questions about these before they vote? No?
Oh, we're getting a few more now. It's a close one.
Yeah, it's a close race. What do we got? It looks like best and worst ideas brainstorm is winning, but does anyone want to take a moment here and put their vote in if they haven't already? Go ahead and give us a little thumbs up on the reactions if you've got your vote in already. There you go.
I agree. All
right.
Rachel, before we just get you designing, maybe do you want to pop over to the throw some things at Rachel's space just so I can do a quick show folks what's that doing so they can think of some things to throw at you while you're doing the main activity.
No, I don't want to bring everyone to me if they're still voting. So just tell people to kind of go a little below the main board and we can see that.
Yeah, just to the left of where we voted, you'll see some an orange area. It says throw some things at Rachel, line them up. And there are a few. There's a mustache icon and a bow tie. There are just some different assets here. If anyone wants to drag one or more of those into the area below where it says drop zone, we'll get Rachel to incorporate those in her design. And
fantastic.
We have
Oh, I was going to say, John, I was supposed to cover up robot or monster based on what we chose, but I will use any accessory at this point.
That's it.
So it seems Dave has a question there about why some participants show up as visiting X while some have proper name. That has to do with whether you are logged into a Miro account or not. If you are logged into your Miro account, it'll usually show your name. You can also set on the board whether you allow visitors to be able to, and I apologize, I did not set this for visitors can add their name. You can actually change that setting and visitors can add their name. And so that is why you're seeing some as visitors and some as their proper name.
Absolutely.
Okay, we've got some people here asking for the link to the Miro board. We're not going to be sharing that during this, but we can share that after the session, and Anna Maria will be following up with both links to the assets again and the link to the Miro board.
Absolutely.
We want everyone to be kind of using it through Butter at this point. If you want to log into Miro, you can. You do not need to be logged into Miro to use Miro through Butter. And that is one of the advantages of that integration here in Butter. All right, so let's go ahead. What is the winner here for the activity?
We have a tie of Rosebud Thorn and Best and Worst Ideas Brainstorm. So you might get to take some improv license and pick your favorite, Rachel.
Oh, all right. Well, with the, let's see.
It's actually a three-way tie. We have votes for everything. So who did
three-way tie. All right. Well, let's go ahead and build Rosebud Thorn. And then if we have time, I can show some of the others. So you go ahead and do your frame here and make sure to change the name of your frame by double clicking. You'll see the little frame title in like a muted out gray. So let's go ahead and call this Rosebud Thorn. And again, if Rachel could spell. You know, we have this that we had over here with our name and our time. So we can actually just, if you want to group items, you see this little group object, or you can press Command G. And we're going to go ahead and just copy that. If anyone kind of want to just follow me around here, and we're going to copy that and we're going to change out the activity name. So this is now Rosebud Thorn.
Yeah, where your user icon is in the top right corner, where everyone's face is, you'll see Rachel's little icon. If you're following her, it'll have an eye symbol on it. Or if you want to follow her, you can just click her icon. That eyedropper or that eye icon will appear, and you'll see what she's seeing on the board.
So for these activities, you might have more than one step, right? So step one, right? We might want to have these actually labeled 1, 2, 3, so it's easier for people to see the steps as they're doing this, right? So I'm going to go ahead and get some pre-made steps over here so I don't have to write all my steps out. Whoa, that's big. And what we're going to do, right, we've already got the title, so we're going to get rid of that. And so this is, I actually use this for mentoring. So that's why this says that, think about your career, right? So this one is going to go, think about, you're going to think about what it's robots, right? New robot. Think about robots you have seen before. And I'm going to talk through Rosebud Thorns, right? So, and then you're going to go narrow. So you might want to have this for them kind of, ooh, there's your, let's grab that. Let's go over here. You can see that's kind of a little wavy line. You can also make those straight if you like, but I'm feeling kind of wavy. So we'll go wavy. And let's change these to robot colors. Right?
So
and
we're also answering Dave's former question of how do you speed up with the resizing and everything. Once you have a great board created, then you can use elements of that board in your future designs or your overall templates. Let's say you run a consistent program for brainstorming or for design thinking. Once you have your initial framework set up, you usually would duplicate most of the elements within it and then just, customize the content you need. That's when, after you get into using Miro for a certain period of time, setting up new workshops becomes less, starting from scratch. You get a little bit better and you have a little bit more in your repertoire. And
you can save boards as templates in Miro as well. And you can actually see those templates when you start up a new board. It'll say, do you want to choose from your personal templates? And we can screen share at the end if we have some time and show you some of that as well. And so let me, I'm gonna grab another little robot over here because might as well use my guys that I created.
They're so cute.
Whoa, he's super big. Okay, but we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna have him over here. And then I'm gonna grab, I already have kind of a rows kind of set out here that we're gonna, whoa. Everything is rather large today. But we're gonna use this guy. So we're gonna make the robot a little smaller here. So he's not competing with the rows. And then we've got our rows. So I've just grabbed this from Adobe stock. You can use paid stock. We've got some resources for some free stock and free graphics over on the resources board. And you can even pre-make some of these elements so they fit with your brand palette as well. So you can see here, we've got a rose, we've got a bud, and we've got a thorn. So let's use some lines. And what you would do is take this out from the rose. Let's see, you can affect the width of the line there. And that's just by selecting the line. Let's get one out of the, that happens if you grab the middle blue mark, it'll give you a little bend in the line. We've got bud over here, and then we've got thorn down here. All right, so what I would usually do here is write a little at the top here that this is rose, and a little description of what we want people to do here, that this is bud, right? And then this is thorn, right? So we're thinking about robots you've seen before, right? So for the rose, we might ask them, what have you seen working well, or things that are positive, right? And so that would go under your rows, and you're going to go ahead and maybe pre-populate some Post-its for them. So you see this one is pretty big. There's a little L next to your Post-it when you make it, and you can actually change it to small.
Yep.
And then you can change the size of the Post-it too. So here, if you wanted to just copy a whole bunch on top, if you highlight all of them together, there's a little icon that's like 4 dots in a square, and it'll automatically go ahead. Oh, we've got someone with a Post-it there. Drag that down to your playground for me. And then you can have, whoops. That's okay.
It happens.
I'll show you what happened. Now we've got it. Let's see, it's misaligned. You can re-highlight those. Make sure you don't have your line selected, and you can realign them all, and you're good to go. And then you can just copy and paste the same set under bud and under thorns, right? And so you might want to actually create the instructions next to it. So you'll see I have here, things that are working well or you've seen that are positive, and we might drag that right next to the rows here. Let's make sure it's the right size so you can see that whole thing, right? And then for bud, or let's go to thorn first. So things that you see that aren't working or negative. So you can, if you want to make sure that you are using the same size type, you could just copy it. So things that you have seen not working well.
And this trick that Rachel has done is take the existing text or elements on your board and just duplicate them or copy them to use them for new elements. It's such a time saver rather than using the text tool again or drawing a new square.
And then next to bud, these are areas of opportunity or ideas yet to be explored. So you would tell your group to kind of go wide in these areas, and then make sure you lock these, right? So you want to lock everything besides your Post-its. Right? You want to make sure. I've got a visitor on there, so I can't quite lock that yet. I'll wait till they're done. And so we know that this is step 1, right? We're going to go wide. So we might even take our number 1 here. Let's go ahead and ungroup this so I can grab that. So we might even take our number 1 and put this over here so they know that this is the first part, right? And then the next step might be voting, right? So we take our little number 1, and we're going to go ahead and, oops, ungroup this so I can grab the one. Ah. See, even I have some trouble here sometimes. There we go. So we've got number 2. And so this might be a little bit of a voting activity. Now, what I like to do for the voting is I like to do a dotted box. So you can grab your box here. I like to do a little box. You can see that's filled in. So let's get rid of the middle and then go to the outside and make that a dotted box. Change that thickness a little. And I like to put a little direction up here at the top of the box. Whoop, we've got a dotted box again, but this one I want solid. So we're going to make that one solid. And we're going to write in it, vote for your top 2. And so let's make sure we got the right font here. And let's make sure it's the right color. And then you just pull that in here. And then for voting, you can use whatever you want. I like to use emojis a lot of times.
Yeah.
And so let's use a little mind blown emoji here, and you can just kind of line them up. What I like to do, if you're telling them to vote for the top 2, line them up in groups of 2, get them like little herded there. So you've got, got 2 by 2.
Yeah.
Right. And then I would do one column and then copy it over here. Right. You tell everyone focus on your 2, and then make sure you lock that background so they're not bringing that around with them.
Some people like to select elements, Control or Command C, and then Control or Command V to copy paste. But I like to just select objects and hit Control or Command D, which just duplicates. It saves you a keystroke, and it's a cool function that works in a lot of programs I didn't know.
I'm going to bring over some of my things you threw at me here.
Oh, Robot's got a hat.
Yeah, Robot's got a hat. I like this top hat over here. Let's go get that top hat on the... So you see it's behind him now. If you right click and then do bring to front, it'll bring that hat to the front. And we can go ahead and place that on our little pup there. And we can also make it a little tilted there. A little top hat going on there. There we go. We've got a little sign here. This could be helpful, right? We've got the robot over here. Maybe he's got a sign that says, let's get some text on here. Maybe it says, you know, watch out for thorns. Let's make it so you can actually see it here. But maybe he's got a little sign going on there. And, you know, they've got some cool, that one looks like it's handwritten there. So that's kind of cool. So watch out for thorns. All right. There we go.
Robot. He's a good robot.
All right. So that's that activity. We got a little pipe there. Who put that pipe there? That's great too. Let's get him. Have a little pipe here.
Right.
And he doesn't really have a mouth, but that's okay.
Yeah, it's true. Maybe the pup on the one before could use the pipe.
Oh yeah, let's bring it to him.
He looks like he needs a pipe. He's got the top hat. He got the pipe, I think.
There you go. All right. Fantastic.
All right.
All right. So that's that activity. Anyone have any questions about any of the little tips or tricks we were using to build that?
Maybe it's a good time to create a Q&A activity so we can get those kinds of questions.
So go ahead.
This is I was just going to say, we're going to build now a quick Q&A activity, almost like a retrospective, but not so formal for this event because we really want to drive some discussion. But herein lies another beautiful part of using Miro for your workshops. It's about the interactivity. It's about the collaboration. But by doing a Q&A in the way that we're about to do it, it allows people to use a couple of different formats for asking their questions. So they have the chat within Butter. We have some sticky notes that we're going to have that you'll be able to type on. And then we're also going to invite folks to come off of mute to ask some questions as well, if we can keep that done in an orderly fashion. And so this really appeals to the diverse personalities that you're going to have in your workshops, because some people won't want to come off the mic or come on camera and talk. So giving them the written ability to do it in your workshops is really a huge bonus we found.
Yeah, and before we do that, I think I'm going to go ahead and see if I can get you some sample Miro tips for that welcome board. I'm going to kind of pull that there for you. and see if I can give you something to look at here. So let me grab some of that for you. If you look at the little welcome board we have there, oh, that's kind of big, but I'm going to make it the right size. Right, this is some of the things that I usually do for the welcome to Miro. So some of the stuff we've been pointing out to you, you will notice these are not the right text, the right font, but that's okay. You can actually multi-select those and change the font all at once. And then you'll see it's a little bigger, so we'll just make it a little smaller there. And you'll see these rings also got a little thick there, so we'll just make them smaller.
And Rachel has a great combination of written text with screenshots of the actual tool, what to click, where to go. And sometimes we even go a further step and we'll embed demonstration videos depending on the workshop format. So often we'll use Loom or another tool where you can record, because in Miro boards you can embed YouTube videos, you can embed Loom videos, and people can watch them without interrupting others. When you click to play a video, it's only you and your instance of Miro watching those videos. And so that's very, very useful for getting folks warmed up and familiar with how Miro works and how to participate and be a good contributor.
All right.
Hey, John, this is Tim. I got a question about videos embedded. Can you set it up where everybody sees the same video at the same time, or does everybody click individually and get to see it at their own pace?
If it's embedded within the Miro board, everyone will have to click on their own to see it. What I've done in my other workshops, if I want everyone to see a video, is whatever technology I'm using, whether it's Zoom or Butter, I'll share my screen and play the video that way. And some of the web meeting technology will allow you to optimize your share for video streams, and the quality is actually great. There's almost no delay or lag.
I think Anna Maria's got a comment there.
Yeah.
Beauty.
Yes, I just want to mention that in Butter, we have an integration with YouTube. So if your video lives on YouTube, you can open it here. And when you click on it, everyone will see it. And there's absolutely no lag. It's just like you watching it on YouTube.
It's a beautiful thing.
It's a beautiful thing. Yes.
All right. And I'm going to go ahead. Wow, I cannot spell today. Throw your questions at the group. So I'm going to build a little Q&A activity here. I'm going to do that super quick. One of the things we've been using is kind of these color blocking. So I'm going to go ahead and create a color block here. Let's get rid of that. Let's make it our robot color, right, for our questions. So let's go ahead and lock that. And then we're going to just throw some stickies on here. We're going to make them this color.
See, I say throw in a box, and you say color blocking. You're so technical.
At least I didn't say thingy.
Yes, that thing, that blue thing.
Yep. And so we're going to just kind of do a little bit of here. And I'm going to show you a really cool thing here, right? So we've got these, and you're like, all right, yeah, but they're kind of close together, right? If you stretch them out like this, just like we did with the words, you can give them a little breathing room there. I'm going to bring over some more of my robots here. I got one robot guy I haven't used yet.
Got to use the last guy.
Yeah. Whoa. Hello. So we've got that guy. We've shown you how to use things like icons. One of the other really great integrations here is Unsplash. So I've actually got this installed on mine. You can actually search. So let's say, let's see what they got robot-wise. I don't know. They've got this little guy, right? So you can actually install the Unsplash app, and we've got a link to show you how to do that. That's actually, there's a link to do that in the resources frame. So this guy doesn't really fit our theme, but you can grab any sort of thing from Unsplash that you want, icons. What do we got in this drop zone I haven't used yet? Ooh, bow tie. Let's go with bow tie. Ring to front. This guy needs a bow tie. All right. So we've got this guy. And this also kind of shows you, even when you're looking for assets, you don't have to pick all the same Like, it doesn't have to be all together. If you found like a hat asset or something you wanted to use, you can actually, I don't know if you remember like paper dolls, you can put things together on here, make your own. So we're going to go ahead and give you some time here to actually write some questions on this Post-it. So John, do you want to lead everyone through that?
Yeah, absolutely. So all you're simply going to do is double click in a sticky note that we've got here in our Q&A area. And
you want to bring it? I'm going to bring everyone to me.
Yeah, bring everyone down there. And of course, you can feel free to continue typing your questions in the Butter chat if that's more comfortable for you. But since we're playing on a Miro board, might as well use the opportunity to get a bit more familiar. I know we've been answering questions as we go too, so it's entirely possible we've answered all the burning questions already. But it's just never a bad idea to have a designated space for your Q&A to get people's creative
your question here. I know we told you not to mess with this board, but now we're telling you to.
Now you can.
Well, in the Q&As, because I'm going to go ahead and actually lock these other ones so that people can see them.
And just while the questions are starting to populate, I'd like to read over a few of the aha moments that have happened. Number one, and I love this one, butter tastes good. Yes, yes, it does. Anna Marie has never heard that one before. Great that you do not need to be logged into Miro. Yes, this was an absolutely brilliant move on Miro's part. That I kind of break Miro users into two categories. There are creators like Rachel and I who create these experiences, and there's contributors who are the folks you want to attend your workshops or your sessions, who will just, you don't need to be able to design something at this scale. You need to be able to fill in sticky notes and dot vote and create emojis and things like that. So distinguishing between those two groups, yeah, it's great that the contributors don't need paid Miro accounts to be able to do their thing. What else do we have? The visual, the more visual the board, the easier for participants. Visual learning is just so fascinating to me, as opposed to just, death by PowerPoint slides and lots of words. This is a much better way to learn, and to interact is where the learning really takes off. Yes, thank you very much. Butter has a YouTube integration. That's awesome. Only love beats Butter. Yes, it's true. The graphic is so cute and fantastic. Rachel's graphics are unbelievably cute and fantastic. I agree with that 200%.
And just a little on that, just to give you some behind the scenes of how I created those. I actually created those in Procreate on my iPad, and then I saved them as JPEGs, and I went ahead and imported them directly into the Adobe Illustrator app on my iPad. And they have a function in that app that takes a JPEG. It's an auto trace as a logo, and it automatically turned it into a vector for me, and I saved these as SVGs for you. So that kind of was my workflow with that. For if there's any other designers in the group, I thought I saw Kevin in here. So, I think there's a lot of opportunity to be creative on these boards.
Yeah. So we do have a question here from Mark, saying, I assume Butter rooms and their associated Miro boards can be persistent. Members can meet at a prescribed time for a meeting, but then leave the board open for asynchronous contributions during the week. Yes, that is absolutely true, Mark. This Miro board is built in Miro, and Rachel can control access to that board because she is the board owner. And then we're sharing it right now through the Butter interface, but the link can be provided, and folks can access Miro using a browser or the Miro app to collaborate asynchronously or synchronously if there happen to be other people on at that time as well.
Yes, and the Butter rooms. So I actually have several Butter rooms that are persistent. If, let's say, you're working with a client and you created a specific Butter session for them, you named it for them, and it has a persistent link. Now, you would have to have a facilitator in that room to start the session for them, but they wouldn't have to have a million different links if you had a set or series of workshops. Like, it would be the same link. Now, a facilitator has to share a Miro board in those Butter sessions, but like John said, you can share the Miro link separately, and you can control those sharing settings. So for my clients, I actually set a password on my Miro boards, and I do anyone with the link can edit, but they need this password. And I believe that is a paid feature on Miro. And I have a consultant plan for Miro.
Next question. Do y'all recommend providing choices? Sorry, I was doing my for each exercise dot voting.
This is a good question. I'm going to field this one, John. So do
Yes,
you mean
go.
choices on different ways to vote? Is that what you mean? Who wrote that one?
That was me. No, yeah, just choices like games to play, right? We're going to play this game or that game, right? We've done 3 choices so far. I like it, but is that, I just seems like that's we just wanted comments like, what is that a good thing to do almost always, or is it there's time and a place?
Oh, to have people vote. So we did voting on this one because it was kind of audience participation. Voting is an integral part of workshopping in general because you want to diverge, which is go wide with all your ideas. And then you want to converge because you're going to have all these ideas and you need to narrow down on the top ideas. And that is one of the best places for choices. In terms of the choices that we did here, the little games, that in particular was to support the improv idea, right? Like, how you're in improv in a theater and people shout out ideas. This was our way of making that virtual, but it can be used in different ways. The best use of dot voting, I think, is from that converge step and being able to kind of narrow down and prioritize ideas.
Mm-hmm. And so I would just add to that and say dot voting in general in workshops is an amazing tool. You can use different formats for it, but it works great. I do not recommend getting into a workshop and allowing the participants to choose their own adventure, just because that would be a little bit insane.
Yeah.
Reacting. Yeah.
Well, for this workshop, that was kind of our theme, right?
That was the point.
But for a workshop otherwise, the key is to what's your desired outcome of that workshop, and you're going to build to that. Is it to come to a decision? Is it to get the team to align better, right? Like if it's a team alignment exercise, you might have some team building activities that you do on the Miro board. So it really depends on your desired outcome for the workshop. I hope that answered your question.
I saw the thumbs up flying, so I think it did.
All right. Do we have time for any other questions here?
There's none on the board, but we'd gladly take one more if anyone wants to pop on.
The reactions, did you already answer that one about reactions in Butter?
I think Anna Maria is including something here.
Perfect.
I added the reply on the board.
Okay.
But just as a short demo, we can have some fun around it, and I can enable it for all.
Yes.
So that's a facilitator feature. If you go to React Now, and there we go.
There we go. People are going to see the soundboard, and that's where you find it. The facilitator has to activate that for you.
So this is the reason why we keep it closed by default and just enable it every now and then.
Yeah, but if you have a co-facilitator and you say, can we turn that on?
See, already.
God.
So if you have a co-facilitator, though, you'll see that we have 3 facilitators in here: myself, John, and Anna Maria, and we all have access to those soundboards. So anyone you designate as a co-facilitator will have access to the sounds.
Mm-hmm. And it's worth noting as well that Miro also has similar reactions to what Butter has. And in the top right corner of your interface, next to the arrow that hides collaborators cursor, you'll see the party favor with the confetti. If you click that once, you'll see all of the reactions. And most of the time, people end up just mashing a bunch because it looks really cool.
And you'll see I've started to use some. I gave that little robot guy a mustache. I used the balloon.
Sweet stash.
Yeah. And so before we go, I just kind of want to direct everyone to the resources board here, and I'm going to bring everyone to me on the board. And you'll see here, you can click on the little Google Drive links at the end of robot accessories, and that's going to take you to an open Google Drive where you can download the SVGs. John, can you go ahead and demonstrate how you drop an SVG onto the board? We'll right in this right area where everyone already is.
Let me see where you are. Yes, I can. So, I mean, SVGs are as easy as dragging and dropping onto a Miro board. So I'm going to go into my downloads folder where I have this nice, beautiful, let's get a monster on here because they weren't getting enough love today. And simple drag onto the Miro interface and boom, it
you
pops
see him
up.
appeared there. And when you then click on this guy, right, you'll see the name of the file. So make sure you're naming your SVGs how you want to name them, because if someone's going to, if you're an editor, you'll be able to download. So you can actually put things for people to download there. But for this particular activity, I've went ahead and linked you to a Google Drive for those, so you can download them directly from there. And then if you move over here, you'll see some resources, some of the things that we talked about today, some open source illustrations and graphics. There's Undraw is one of my favorite. There's actually also an Undraw plugin for Miro. And you can actually, let's see, do I have that one? I think I have that installed. Yep, Undraw symbols, and it'll bring up your Undraw, and you can drag and drop. These are all open source illustrations. You'll see this guy here. And you on the website Undraw, you can actually custom change the colors to any color you want, and then export as an SVG. All free, open source, can use for commercial work.
Yeah, it's great for that consistent addition of nice graphics to your board designs.
Yeah, and then there's just some paid tools. I love Envato Elements. I use Adobe Stock. Envato Elements is great because I think it's only like $16 a month, and you get graphics, presentation templates, vectors, video, sound, unlimited, all for that price. So that's a great resource. And then these are some of the internal Miro tools, and the links here will take you to how to, woo! Is that you, John?
No.
Oh.
I got it out of the way, though.
Was that you, Anna Maria? Oh, okay.
Someone pulled in a screenshot.
Someone pulled in a screenshot. Great demonstration.
Yep.
That is what the Google Drive looks like. Way to go, whoever did that. So, all right. I know we're out of time here, so I don't want to hold everyone. But if you hadn't, I'm going to go ahead and what I'm going to do is once I stop sharing this Miro screen, you're not going to have access to it through Butter anymore. But Anna Maria is going to follow up after this with all of those links and the Miro board link. Okay? All right. I'm going to go ahead and close this.
There we go. Thank you so much, guys. It was very insightful. I feel like I could spend 2 hours watching you guys design and like watch all your moves. There's so much more to learn. But thank you so much for your time, and thanks everyone for showing up and for asking all the awesome questions and following along. And I hope to see some of you, if not all of you, soon in one of our future events. That's all. Fantastic. Enjoy the rest of your days wherever you are in the world.
Bye, everyone.
Maria,
everybody.
will you share your contact details in the chat real quick?
Yes, I will. And I can also stay a bit in the call if you would like and answer any questions, Kelly, if you would like to.